and he was supposed to bring us back. Rock, we're back.
The camera's on
right,
you
the
like
camera's
it's supposed
on me.
to be.
Sorry, top of the hour. It's a little bit past the 8 o'clock hour. You're back. You're officially tuned in to Coffee and Conversation with Collette and Speak Rock on this amazing Friday morning. We're the 16th of November. We're halfway through. I know you guys are getting ready for Thanksgiving next week. I believe that we should be thankful every day, every moment of every day, every moment of life, period. We should be thankful. We should live in that, and then we should be of service. But that's my conversation. But I get it. But as on this morning, we're talking about emotional intelligence. Before I turn it over to Rock, because we had some great calls in the last hour, I want us to know the book. And actually, this book was in 2015. Hey, Dad, great morning. We read this book in 2015 called Super Brain by Deepak Chopra and Rudolph Tanzi. The subtitle is Unleashing the Explosive Power of Your Mind to Maximize Health, Happiness, and Spiritual Well-Being. Super Brain. Y'all got it? So, Rock, please, before the break, we had an amazing conversation about that we should understand that we are more than what this American history has given us. And then I believe during the break, we kind of had to challenge ourselves to talk about how we even get there.
Yeah.
What does that look like? And you had some great insight. And I wanted you to stick a pin in it and share it with our audience. And everyone, don't go anywhere because we're going to get everyone on the line as well. So please continue.
Yeah, I believe this conversation has definitely grown legs and, is expanding. Yeah. And that's what good thought's supposed to be. It's supposed to promote, critical thinking and expand our mind. Yeah. With that being said, the last caller was challenging everyone to say, look at where you come from. Look at your lineage. And a lot of even scientists in medical research, like when you go to the hospital, they always ask your medical history.
Yes.
Not just only on you, but they ask your medical history on your family members.
Yes.
On your maternal and your paternal side.
Did your mama have high blood pressure?
Absolutely.
Right, you already know.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we should not be ignorant to the fact that even emotional and mental health, there's a connection still there. Yes. Because if you all you understand about yourself is that I came from a system of slavery, if all you can comprehend is that I've been downtrodden and beaten and civil rights movement and we're always a struggling people, if that's all that once again, what did we say earlier? It takes a while to get into that mindset. Yeah. So now you're always emotionally wound up. You're angry. You're bitter. Even though you try to hide it, you're still bitter. Yes. You're still angry. Yes. And that's why sometimes, I'm not saying it's right, but that's sometimes we live up to the negative stigma that has been placed on us as the angry black man and the angry black woman.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
We sometimes we live up to that stick. We're giving credit to it.
Yes.
And that's not us. And what we're trying to do here today is just basically explain to everybody, look, we need to be in an emotional healthy state. We need to be in a mental healthy state. And I believe what you want me to get to is that when I was listening to the caller, I was telling you, like, I don't beat myself up if I don't know my whole history.
Yeah.
There's a benefit in it.
Yes.
But I start with me.
Yeah.
I got to start with me and my household. Once again, like I say, I'm a father of 4. I have 3 girls still at the house. My son is grown. I still have 3 daughters at the house, and I have a wife. So here's the deal. Yes. I have to explain to my daughter to say, hey, look, guess who you the child of? You're the child of Rock. When she looks at me like, what that's supposed to be? Well, let me explain to you what that means. This is who I am. This is what I've done. This is what I'm about. This is what I've endured.
Yeah.
Come on now, that's something.
Yeah.
And guess what? You're my fruit.
Right.
You come from that.
So stay there. Did you get that? Mm-hmm. So what he's talking about is DNA.
Ooh.
Because DNA is huge. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, I am my daddy's daughter. Mm-hmm. We stopped living in the same household when I was 2, but I swear, I am him. I'm him. I think there were so many times my mother would just get mad at me.
Through and through.
And my brother, because of not only did we look just like him, like he just spit us out, but the things that we said, the positions that we took, how we fight, what we believe. DNA is everything, baby.
Why did my wife say that to me the other day?
Yeah, bless your wife.
Just yesterday.
She was
like, you raised some little U's. Like, I don't know if that was a compliment.
You're like, I don't know. I really don't take that, wife. It's that good or bad. I am me. He's I and I am him.
Right, right, right.
But DNA is seriously like
Mm-hmm.
you all don't get that. DNA is huge, right? So you have to understand how you were made, and then how you're wired, and what you believe that you can do. But that's based in large part of the genetics that are going on from you
Oh, can I
in you.
add? Can I add this? There?
Absolutely.
Because to understand that, sometimes you might need to understand what I need to keep that I got from my mom and my
Come on,
dad,
come on.
or what I need to change.
Yeah, because it all might not be too good.
Ooh.
So some of that raggedy DNA stuff you need to leave over there.
Mm,
But you have to have an emotional intelligence
that's good.
to be able to say, you know what, this might not be the best for me.
That's good.
This type of response to things, this way of not addressing things or addressing things, because you know my mama keeps things inside, so she doesn't articulate them until she blows up, and then you don't know what you're gonna get because she holds it all in. That might not be the best. So that means I might need to, as I feel it, I need to say it. I need to be able to deal with it and be healthy about it, as opposed to a blow up and then everything's gonna happen. So you have to know. And you have to be honest about it again.
Be
It
honest.
doesn't mean that's why I think it goes back to how we started this conversation.
Yeah.
Honesty doesn't mean that the people that you got it from, the DNA, your parents and your lineage, that they're bad people.
Right.
It doesn't mean that. It just means that based on their experiences, what their genetic makeup, they chose to do certain things. You got traits. You saw certain examples, and it might not have been the best. We're not poo-pooing on them, but it's made you who you are, and you can be better. I mean, that's what we're saying, Rob.
That's good stuff.
Thank you. Let's see what all the lines are lit. So we appreciate your patience. We're going to get everyone in. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You talked a very important thing because I think it's really the main thing that affects us, our emotions, our emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Because as you were saying, correctly saying, we're not attached to our culture, to all the things that other groups are attached to. And we've been unattached to our culture, etc., since we got here, up until now.
Okay.
I think the only thing that has been kind of affirming for us emotionally is when we have money and we're functioning with all of the other institutions, and that's
Excuse
only
me.
to a certain
Thank you.
extent. So of course, we're gonna have all kinds of problems psychologically, emotionally,
Okay.
etc. So you're talking about the main thing, and you helped me astrologically with certain things because I've been trying to figure out what our moon was for a long time, and I came up with a particular answer. So you're in harmony with the universe out there.
Nice. We appreciate that. I mean, thank you. I mean, at the end of the day, I believe that we have to have a consciousness just to be aware. But let me just say this much to you. I want to go to, so there are a couple places.
Okay.
And again, I believe that being able to connect to something bigger than you in a physical plane is everything. I don't know if you've ever been on a reservation. I was in Florida, went to the Mississippi Reservation. Let me tell you, as horrible the concept of a reservation and how it got to be a reservation is, being on land that is totally governed, every aspect of it, by people that look like you, is a freeness. I promise you, it was the most amazing experience I've ever had in my life. When you walk through the entrance and you drive through the entrance and you know that you're on the Mississippi tribe's land, the reservation, and everything that you see, everything is governed by us. We're sovereignty. It's not touched by anything else. It's something to be said about that. I think about the same thing of going back to the plantations. I'm going to do that. I want to feel that energy. I want to touch the trees that you know that folks that look like us were hung on. I want to put my hands in the soil to have a connection because from whence we've come. For me, that gives strength. For me, I know that's not everybody, but that's a part of the history that, as Rock said, you might not be able to go back 30 years. I get it. But you, as of right now, you can have an acknowledgement that helps you emotionally, just for the simple fact of knowing that I'm strong, that I came through. I came through some strong folks. I came through my grandparents toiling on land and all the things, sharecroppers and all that, and raising kids and doing everything they could to create wealth and owning properties and doing those things. That's an emotional component that should empower you. Even those of us who have a lineage that we made it through slavery. The strong survive. So as the caller said before, you got to shape your narrative. You got to understand how you're going to look at the history of who you are and create something that benefits you, Rock. That's what I believe.
No, and that's powerful.
Okay.
And many of people will, acknowledge that and say, I mean, there's strength in numbers.
Sure.
And the ancestral planes. Come on now, that's you. Look, even in the Christian faith, we still reverence and we still acknowledge, even if we're Africans, and when you look at Christianity, starting off with Jews and then moving out to the Gentiles, we still look at Abraham as what? The father of faith.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So there's knowing that connection and being able to be in certain places. Like I'm with you. Like when I've traveled to Africa on missionary, it's nothing like it.
Yeah.
It's nothing like first of all, I would have never thought or dreamed when you get to be able to just walk the exact land. And I've talked to people who've said they've been to Western Africa and they've been to the gate of no return.
Yeah.
And I've never had the privilege of being there,
Yeah.
but they say it's an experience like none other.
Yeah.
So no, you're onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that we have to be conscious of that, because if we're trying to be complete people in this human form, there's everything that we need to take from to build us up,
Yeah.
you all?
Yeah.
Because there's a humanness to this
Yeah.
thing. So we have to be built up. We have to be encouraged. We have to be shaped and molded and formed on a daily basis, on a moment by moment basis. Because things can impact you and change stuff just like that.
Yeah, and also in what you're saying, Collette, is that when we gain that knowledge,
Yeah.
when we gain that when we gain a mastery of managing our emotions,
Yeah.
we gain the knowledge of where we come from,
Yeah.
and we're at peace with it.
Yes.
What do we do with it? You know the answer.
What do we do with it?
What do we do with it?
Uh,
We pass it down.
You're supposed to.
You pass
It's
it down.
supposed to be better, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Everything that you're going through, and calls, I see I'm about to get to the line.
Okay.
Everything that you're going through to raise your children as a parent, your ultimate goal, and I know unequivocally, you and your wife, is to make sure that it's better for your children.
Absolutely.
That they're better human beings,
Yeah.
emotionally, spiritually, psychologically,
Yeah.
everything, in every way that they can be, that they are more complete human beings. In your humanness, we're always going to have to deal with life, but you're not going to not address things that could have plagued you.
Hey, Can I throw this in there for a little
Please.
sidebar?
Yes.
Because I know one thing when we're talking about lineage and we're talking about history, and if we want to be honest about it, parenting
Yes.
does not stop at the age of 18.
It doesn't.
And watch this, family, it
Yeah.
doesn't stop. And
Yeah.
I've made up in my mind, and I've told my children, like, look here. I don't care how old you are,
Right.
and I want to put it in a negative light,
Right.
but I express to them the importance and the gravity of my thoughts.
Yeah.
This door is always open.
Yeah.
25, 35, 45, 55. And guess what? We're going to work on life together.
Yes.
We're going to build together.
Yes.
I'll be
Yes.
the patriarch, and your mom be the matriarch, and we'll make it happen, and you all will be kings and queens in your domain.
Yes.
And we're all going to do this together. And whatever happened prior to me being born, whatever happened to my grandfather and my great-grandfather and great-grandmother's time and all of that, I can't do anything about that,
Right.
but I can do something about this.
Yes.
And we're going to take pride in what we have,
Yes.
and we're going to make it better. And I believe the reason why we do what we do is, like you said, to make it better. And you got to keep it going. You got to keep that, once again, the mental. This is it's, some can say it's even a heart thing, not just a mental thing. It's a heart thing, because once it's in you, you don't, what the Bible says, what?
Yeah.
Train a child up in a way they should go, right?
Yeah. And
And when they get older, they won't depart from it. So this, but you got to be mentally and emotionally healthy.
You got to be healthy
to do this.
Yeah.
You got to be.
That goes back to the truth.
Yeah.
Let's go to the line.
Let's go to
Thanks
the line.
for your patience. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, we are new people. Jesse Jackson had it wrong. We are not African Americans. We are American black people that's made up of African and other descent.
Okay.
We were tore away from Africa, and we was, when we were tore away, the ocean separated us from the land. We're in a new land. We was tore away in the form of adoption.
Okay.
We have a different language, a different culture. Culture is very important to understand. Our culture, the bottom line is the psychological makeup of a people because of that common experience they have.
Yes.
We have a common experience that was through slavery and through semi-slavery, segregation, discrimination that was totally different from the colonialism that Africans had and the tribalism they had over in Africa.
Okay.
We are not Africans. We are American, like I say, of African and other descent. We are the new people of the world. The world gonna look like us one day. When we look at our family, we see all colors. We don't see just one color. Okay. It was forced on us through slavery. The slave master had his way with the black foreparents, mothers. Okay. And when the means of communication developed, like they are today, and you go all over the world, you're going to find that you fall in love with all different types of people. And mankind is going to look that way. It goes like we look today. If we try to find our history beyond America's shores, we're going to be a confused people forever. We're going to come out like Carter G. Wilson. He was trying to, in the 20s, find out what is our history. And he looked up and said, okay, the best thing we know that we achieved, and we should tell the white establishment, don't treat us like that. We made lights. We took the peanuts. We was boxers. We was entertainers. We contributed to America. We was bricklayers. But you see, that's not black history. That's individual achievement. That shows you we started off from scratch after slavery. But what is our history? Our history started off after slavery fighting the consequences of the black codes, where they separated us and had black law, white law. And they went on, that happened all the way up to 41. And then then there was a struggle against that. They said, oh, no, you're not going to treat us any different like that. That was Philip Randolph and the Porterhouse Union. So our whole history is a history fighting against the policies that the government created to handicap us.
Well,
and
let me just say this,
if we don't understand that history, we cannot come up with strategies and tactics and fight the history that the government put on us, not some history in Africa.
Well, let me just add, let me just say this.
We've been separated from
that.
Yeah,
no, and I get all of that, and I believe that that's an experience, but not everybody here in America who's black and brown came out of slavery. And then let's go back to the subject, the topic of emotional intelligence. So based on everything that you've said, then what are you suggesting who we are as emotional people and our emotions? So are you suggesting that because of what the American story for a majority of people of color look like, then we're taking that energy of what? Anger, despair, unfortunate situations, and we're taking that to keep fighting? Are you saying that we're using our emotions to keep fighting for what we believe is right or what we were told was right based on the laws that were established by this country? And then where does that lead us today? Because now majority of us don't fight. We don't protest. We don't march because we believe that we've made it. It's status quo and that we're equal to white folks because we can live wherever we want. We can love whoever we want. We can send our children to any school that we want. We can buy whatever we want. So where are we emotionally?
Emotionally, where we at? We have evolved through a couple of centuries, about a couple of centuries after slavery. Now we're in cities, and we are still reacting to government policies, such as come back Detroit, come back Harlem, come back Chicago. See, that is a gentrification. Gentrification of the downtown is not just happening in Detroit. It's happening in all major cities where we found ourselves at. So we are still reacting to government policy. Those are government policies to say we're going to come back and you're going to give Henry Ford so much tax money so he can build the station down there. But now, here's what's going to happen to you in Detroit that we are talking about. Once he builds that, you're not going to get no jobs because he's going to bring jobs in. You're not going to get no taxes money because he's not going to pay taxes for 30 years. And the workers he brings in, they're not going to pay no income tax, no utility tax, no property taxes. That was government decision. And that's what's going to happen to us, and us black folks. Well, here's what's going to happen to us black folks. We're going to be shortage of services, or we're going to have to pay more taxes that the government put on us because they got to make up for the shortfall to give the tax breaks to afford.
Okay, well, stay there for a minute. Stay there for a minute. Stay there for a minute.
Less, more taxes. That means more money going to be taken from our household, and more people going to be put out of their house in Detroit.
Okay.
Or if they cut back on service, such as the fire department, they said the other day that they found that by it because they didn't have enough people.
Okay, so stay there, Brother Tyrone. And I appreciate your call. Thanks so much for calling.
Let me finish just one thing.
But wait a minute. But hold on, because I don't think that you're addressing the emotional. You're not addressing that
Anybody
conversation.
else talk about history in Africa is in La La Land.
Okay, well, we appreciate your call. I don't believe that still addresses what we were talking about today. In my assessment, you just gave a idea of a people that are only reactionary. So the only emotion that we have is that of reaction to consistently trying to get somebody to fix us and constantly get somebody to make it right for us and to constantly get someone to create a value in us, and you keep trying to lump it in as a group of people because we're black. It's about class. It's about money. That's what it's about. So every city that you talk about in this country that's dealing with gentrification, if you are poor and you are in a city, then that is what is happening, whether you're white, black, yellow, red, whatever the case may be. It's about class. But I still don't believe that we address the conversation of our emotional state.
Yeah, it definitely, the part far as saying, if we're just reacting to a situation, if that's our emotions are making us react.
Yes.
And it sounds as if also what he was saying is that let's concentrate on the now versus having a great understanding of where we came from, be it Africa or what have you.
Right.
It kind of sounds like he was saying that's really not going to add any value to where we are currently, understanding where you came from. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah.
A little bit of what he was saying.
And I believe that, and he made a couple of points. I mean, he talked about that would only confuse us. Well, we're confused now.
Well, I would tell you this.
So we're confused, period.
I would tell
Let
you
me just
this.
say that.
Minister Farrakhan did make a statement one time on, the state of the Black Union address.
Okay.
He made a statement that he just shut the audience down and was like, hey, wait a minute,
Okay.
Ever since the civil rights movement, the cry has been jobs and justice.
Yeah.
And here it is, where I think it was 2000 or whatever, 7, 8, 9, whatever it was that he did this. And he said, we're still saying the same thing, jobs and justice. So now he was like, why are we still making that cry when we as a people have the power to do for ourselves? Why are we still begging an establishment? So if we want to look at, if that's where our emotions are just concentrated in that area, I can see where that can be problematic. What you're saying is with emotional intelligence. See, so because, and now I will agree with this. A lot of times we as a culture, as a race of people, and I get what you're saying, like, the black race is a creation, so to speak, through slavery. I get that, but if we don't become more intelligent and become more assertive and aggressive in creating for ourselves versus always relying on a system, we become system reliant. And people who are advocates, and I'm not trying to bash any voting rights advocates at this and that, but it just got, a little sidebar, it got almost ridiculous, this midterm elections. Those who truly believe in the system of voting and politics, it got to the point where they were so dogmatic about saying, like, this is the way to go. And this is going to be the platform that's going to help you launch everything else, be it entrepreneurship, education, and any other issues that we want to correct. It's all going to be solved through politics.
Right.
And I was just sitting there like, how can y'all be so dogmatic about that? No, it's going to take that plus more. So once again, if I'm gathering what he's saying,
Yes.
if our emotions are just tied into kind of like one thing,
Yes.
we're unbalanced
Yes.
emotionally, and we don't have the emotional health that we need to be effective, and nor do we have the emotional intelligence to go forward.
Absolutely. So we're still acting like slaves. We're still acting like slaves when we understand everything for exactly what it is, and then we still keep pointing fingers about what they don't do. Emotional intelligence is, I understand all of this. I understand the civil rights movement. I understand that America was established and didn't look at me as a citizen. I understand that the powers that be in creating their platform are never going to use that to make it beneficial for me because I am a person of color. And if I only focus on my color, then I will never be anything more than what it is versus an understanding of the class that's attached with the color, because not everybody was a slave. Not every person of color is struggling right now in this world. Be very clear about it. But if you don't understand and can shape the narrative, then you'll consistently be put at the bottom where you're waiting for someone to create some policies, or you're thinking you're going to select and elect a person that's going to vote. You're going to put them in office, and they're going to work wonders of this rigged system. It's rigged. That's like y'all betting on the horses or the dogs. Y'all think y'all done traveled, done everything and whatever, and you got your money, you gonna get it, like the lottery. It's rigged. Soon as you get your dog in the race, it's rigged. All of it's rigged. So because you're supposed to understand that's emotional intelligence, that it's rigged, you're supposed to understand the system and make the system work for you. You can't keep just having the same conversation about what it is. It's not gonna change. You keep trying and trying and trying and trying. Same old outcome. So now, as it relates to elections, we're talking about people getting ready for 2020 election. Well, what's happening right now? So you're going to wait the whole year to do nothing, to try to find somebody else because you want to be the Geppetto to them and think you're going to put your dog in the race. And as soon as they cross the threshold into politics, they become bought by lobbyists, and that's what happens. That's what emotional intelligence does. It allows you to understand and to say, okay, I got you, but what am I going to do over here? What kind of conversation am I going to have over here? Because I need to understand the system and make the system work for me. But if not, maybe some of our platform is just to constantly keep talking about the system, and that you never want to make it work for you. You just want to consistently stay oppressed. Maybe that's what it is.
And to add this to
Sure.
it, and we're talking about being emotionally healthy,
Yeah.
when we get overly concerned and wrapped up even in the conversation of politics,
Yeah.
any issue actually, we just spiral out of control. And guess what? The system is going to continue,
Yeah.
and you're the one that's at home, bothered, disturbed, probably in a bad place because you don't have control of your emotions and you're not managing them correctly.
Yes.
So we want to help the people today to like, look, no matter what the topic is, slavery, civil rights, politics, the holidays, rearing a family, whatever what's going on,
Yes.
are you emotionally and mentally well?
Yes.
So regardless of what we're talking
Yeah,
about,
don't get caught up in the subject matter. The basis, the underlying factor is how you assess it.
yes,
Period.
yes,
Do you understand you? You have to know who you are to thine own self be true. And then you understand the conversation that you create and the actions associated with that based on who you understand yourself to believe, to be or not to be. To be or not to be. That's the question. Let's go to all the lines.
Let's go to the
Thanks for
line.
your patience. Great morning to you.
Good morning, Queen.
Good morning.
This is Asia.
Good morning, Asia.
Good morning. I sent you and Rod some information. I was at a planning commission meeting last night,
Okay.
and some developers from California that are now, how can I say it? They done came to Detroit
Great.
to zone the rest of the city.
Mm-hmm.
So this is basically like a part two of a Detroit Future City framework project.
Okay.
And I just sent you guys some information on that.
Okay.
And please be on alert for your area that they're going in unknowingly rezone the area.
Okay.
All right.
Absolutely. We appreciate the information. I think that's a part of our intelligence as well. That if indeed you want to make the right decisions and have the right kind of conversations, you have to know what's going on. Or maybe the bigger part is that you can't be mad that they have a plan.
What I loved about that call right there,
Yes.
see how collected she was?
Yeah. She was very exact. This is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
This is what I experienced.
Yeah.
This is what I want to share. I want you all to be mindful. Now, you either take the information, you don't, you use it, you don't.
Yeah.
It is what it is because all this other stuff is happening around us. And I'm gonna go back to it and I'm gonna nail it on the head. The truth in all of this is everything that is happening in this city and in the outliers we could have been a part of. I know you all don't like that. You all gonna say, Collette, they didn't let us go to the table. They wouldn't invite us into the meeting. Well, again, that goes back to who I believe you believe yourself to be. If you are waiting for somebody to bring you to the table, you ain't never gonna get to the table. I don't care where you are. That's not how this works. You have to be able to believe that you bring something to the table, you have a plan, and you have to work your way by any means necessary if you're trying to eat. So either you're going to eat or you're going to be the meal. And I believe that that's what we have been experiencing in this region is that we're the ones that are being fed on. You all saw the report in the newspaper the other day. Moody said that Detroit, in order to be this great revitalized city, has to be more than the downtown. That's what the Moody's report said.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? So at the end of the day, if Detroit has to be more than the downtown, that just increases the tax break and the businesses and then the luxury and the nuance or whatever. But we've been in the communities. When property tax stuff hit, we didn't buy up properties. We didn't. I did. We didn't. When your house was, if you paid $100,000 for it and the house next door to you, you could end up getting for $10,000 or $7,000 and you didn't. Whose fault is that? Because you didn't believe that you could. You didn't believe that you could own property. You didn't believe that you could be an investor. You didn't believe that you could be a landlord because you thought that all you could have is a mortgage. And so you sat and watched in your communities where everybody else came and bought up those properties, and all you all did is sit and talk about it. And then you got mad because they're creating wealth, and you sat and got mad because you didn't move, because you didn't believe, you didn't have the intelligence to believe that you could do the same thing. That's the truth. You know how many people I had to go through back and forth arguing with me about buying property, asking me if it's true, if I bought what I bought. I know I bought it. I was there because I believed that I could. Had never done it before. But I know just a return on investment, if you see something that was regularly $80,000 that you could get for $2,000, and then over time watch a return on it, then something's wrong with you if you don't take that gamble, if it's something that you own. But you have to have a mindset. That goes back to our DNA, how we think, who we believe ourselves to be, that you can make the situation work for you. And we don't. And we're constantly sitting up here complaining. And when Kanye said that you're all acting like slaves, we are. Nah.
Don't start nothing.
Yeah, I just said that's it. Because it's a mindset. Slavery, that's the emotional mindset. That means that you are captive in a scenario. You're captive in a mindset that says, I can't be more, I can't do more, they ain't gonna do this, they ain't.
Yeah.
You relinquish your power.
Yeah.
That's what slavery is, when you relinquish your power, knowingly or unknowingly.
Yeah.
We're in a state right now that we knowingly relinquish our power because I believe there's too much for us to do. We don't want to do that work. I said it. We don't want to do that work. It's hard being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
It's hard making a living for yourself. It's hard of thinking. Majority of us don't use 10% of our brain power. We don't want to read. The brother talked about the 5 books he shared with us. We don't read. Who reads? We don't want to read. Everybody now is on the phone. They want to watch the video. They want to see. Nobody wants to read. And that separates people, those who have and those who don't. But you don't want to have that conversation because you want to sit and constantly complain about what you don't have and what people aren't doing for you. Well, that's your emotional state. That's your intelligence. You just might never believe that you're supposed to have more. You might not ever believe that you can sit and fight for yourself. You might ever believe that the glass is really half full instead of half empty. And some of you will die with that same mindset and never reap the fullness of potential for who you are that can then effectuate a positive change in your community because you weren't the best you could be.
Can I add a holistic
And you
point
can
to that?
ask whatever you like, right?
Because I believe you are so spot on in what you're saying. And what happens is that when you finally do get a believer, I think a lot of times we've created monsters that we don't want to acknowledge. And follow me when I say this.
Okay.
You have individuals who will turn into eventually, because through time they've been told, as you said, you can't do it. This isn't possible. You're not much, and it messes with your emotional well-being.
Yeah.
So you believe it. But now let's say you overcame it. Mm-hmm. Well, you overcame it to a degree, or you gained some knowledge and some intellect, and you became an entrepreneur, or you launched yourself out and you went to college, or you got you a nice career, a nice 9-to-5 in the corporate world. Okay, you've obtained a couple of things, and you've put a little money into your bank account. What I see happening, I'm going to say it's happening today, and they're all around us. Okay. You got people now who have a little bit now, who have obtained a little bit of status, and what they do, what we do, we still, because we're emotionally not well, we walk around with the ultimate chip still on our shoulder of people have done us wrong, people have done me wrong, people are out to get me. I can't trust people. I have a small circle. Yeah. I can only now some of these things could be true to a certain degree. Sure. But I still ask myself, well, why is your circle so small? Why is it everybody out to get you? Like, why is it that you only got 2 people? What is going on in your life? See, so because what we're doing is saying it's everybody else, and it's not me.
Yeah. And or maybe it's that I just want to be the big fish in the little pond.
Come on now.
That's the truth of it.
Come on.
See, y'all don't realize you ain't ever going to be any bigger than the people in your circle. That's why I hang around with people like Rock. I'm going to be around people that have more intellect, more experience, combination of a whole bunch of things so I can learn.
Yeah.
That's how I become better. I don't want to be the smartest person in the group. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. That doesn't help me be a better person. But majority of us, that's who we are.
Now, can we say both of those examples that we gave? Both of them are unhealthy.
Unhealthy.
See, but what we do is we look at the person who's obtained some status, the person who got some their financial wallet is looking better.
Yeah.
They drive a nice car.
Yeah.
We look at that person as a success, and nothing is wrong with them.
Yeah.
But I would tell you, some of those people are some of the most damaged people.
Insecure
So they're
people,
right.
lacking confidence people.
They're no better than the person
Yes.
who refused to take the wisdom of saying, Collette, I can't own a home.
Yes.
Collette, I can be much more than what I am.
Yes.
Both of those people are emotionally. So I wanted to kind of bring that
Yes.
full circle and let us know, don't think just because someone gives the appearance that they are well.
Yeah, they not.
Okay?
It's the facade. Because let me just tell you, if you are well, your actions show it.
Well, come on now.
You don't ever have to say anything. It's your actions. It's how you treat people. It's what you do. It's that intuitiveness. When we talk about that, come on. Intuitive feeling as distinguished from reasoning or knowledge. So you just know it, and then you jump into play to fix it, to make it work for somebody, to create an opportunity for somebody, to make it better for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's that emotional intelligence when you're functioning on the cylinders that you know that it's more than you. It has to start with you in order for you to know that it's more than you. Because if I'm not good, I can't make it good for you.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
And so that's just the truth of it. So I got to be good to make it good for you, and I got to be honest about everything that I need to make it good for you.
Absolutely.
Let me get to the line. Rock, we got some callers. Thanks for your
Yes.
patience. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am so glad that you are, both you and your guests are imparting these pearls of wisdom. And I just encountered some people, just a couple of other days.
Okay.
We were talking about the Winterfest downtown, that thing where
Yes.
they have all ice skating and all that
Yes.
stuff going on. And I said, well, I and my family, we all went down there. We all went down there and had a great time. And these are people saying, well, they don't want us downtown. We can't go downtown no more. They took downtown from us. And I'm going like, who is they?
Right.
What are you talking about? You
Right.
could go anywhere you want to go. And I mean, especially if you are a Detroiter and you are paying Detroit taxes,
Yeah.
why do you feel like somebody can stop you from going downtown
Yes.
and enjoying yourself? What the heck is that all about? And I think that kind of, encapsulates what you guys are talking about. It's that mindset
Yes.
that you are going to allow someone not to let you enjoy yourself. Oh, we can't go on Belle Isle no more because the state troopers are out there. They're going to give us a ticket, and we can't this and we can't that, and they're taking the city away from us, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yes, they have, we've given away assets. They didn't take them. We gave them through our city council and people like that, yes. But I just would never, ever feel or allow myself to feel like somebody's going to stop me from doing what I want to do. Because
That's
it just isn't happening for me like that. I don't live a life like that.
Yes.
And that's why I'm glad you all are bringing this up, because there's too much of that. I hear it all the time. And the other thing is this language that is out here, calling neighborhoods hood.
Right.
Where the heck did that come from?
Right.
When you say you live in a hood, that means anything goes and nobody cares. Okay? I don't see it as a colloquialism type thing that is a slang word. I see it as a word that means you've given up, you don't care, you're going to trash it because it's a hood.
Okay.
No one else calls where they live a hood except some people in Detroit.
All
And I just don't like that. And I always say, no, we got to put the neighbor back in the hood. I don't live in a hood. I refuse to be in a hood.
Right.
And I'm not identifying with that kind of mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate your call. I mean, I think that's what she's speaking about, the emotional intelligence. She has a consciousness to be able to say that I know who I am, who I believe myself to be, and because I know who I am and who I believe myself to be, my actions show it.
I love it. Sounds like a woman who know how to stand
You
on
know what
something.
she said? But, hey, let's go to the
Yeah.
line. Thanks for your patience. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just happened to tune in probably 5 minutes ago, but the host had mentioned some of us have created a monsters inside of us that we don't want to recognize. It reminded me of a scripture, and hearing a host say one time, reading a scripture, that the stranger within you will come up very high, and you will come very low. And they explained that to me, that as if people were coming into this country, strangers coming into the country, would be higher, rated higher than those of us that are in the country. When actually the scripture was saying, we have created a stranger within us, within our being. So we are walking around with a stranger that is at a higher level of our being than the real person within us, the soul of us.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
That's what we are dealing with, the illusion that has been created, or we have created, from being here on planet Earth. Yeah. And the real part of us, the soul, has been totally diminished,
Wow. Thank you so much for your call. I mean, that's a great point.
Oh, yeah.
When you sit and talk about the strength of the inner man, who we are inside, and the majority of us live on the first level of life. You all do. It's a physical. That's everything that you talk about. Social media, I know we didn't even get there for that. Yeah. Emotional intelligence and social media, so everybody wants to look and visual. Everything is I want to see, I want to show, I want to da-da-da-da. That's it. Anytime, and you know it's true, you'll see provocative type imagery and people have 200,000 and 300,000 followers. Yeah. You put something intellectual on there, 3 people will like it.
Hey, I like how she was saying, like, sometimes we, because our unhealthiness as far as being emotional, we carry this enemy within.
Yeah. That's the enemy.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate enemy of self. You're fighting yourself. This is a fight for self. It's who you believe yourself to be, and if you want to climb up, it goes right back to how you started the conversation.
Watch this. Did you hear what she said? She only tuned in about 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
And guess what? This is the liberation for people. If you're carrying that enemy within, guess what? This segment was a liberation for you, because I would challenge anybody to be able to go back and listen to a lot of what was said, and you can use these tools, man.
Absolutely.
You can get free.
Absolutely. You can if you want to. Our time is up. Isn't it amazing? It's been a phenomenal 2 hours with you. We've addressed emotional health, emotional intelligence, and I believe, Rock, it all goes back to who we are.
Yes.
Who we believe we are, whose we say we believe we are, who we know ourselves to be, and then with that understanding, then decide how we're going to live our day-to-day lives.
Absolutely.
And honoring what all of that looks like in our humanness. I appreciate you. How can they continue to follow you, Ron?
I appreciate you having me on here. Hey, look, it's real easy. I'm on the social media platforms. Yeah. Speak Rock, SPEAKROC. That's on Instagram. That's on Facebook. That's on Twitter. You can send me an email at speakrock@gmail.com. If you have any questions, or if you'd like for me to come out and speak at any event, just go ahead and send me an email, DM, or message me. Thank you.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Until next month. Absolutely. And everyone, look, I can imagine a conversation that has been more educational, enlightening, and empowering. I pray that you know that it all begins with you. It's self-reflection, it's honoring our truth, and I believe it's more importantly betting on yourself. That's what this whole thing is about. I can't be good for you until I'm good for me. There are a lot of things that could be hurtful that could be brought up, and we have to address those things because that's life, and that's the human nature of who we are, but I promise you there's victory in that and through that. So I challenge you to make your moments matter. Like there's nothing else that's most important. Be the best you, for those you love, and for those that you encounter. It's really that simple. Continue to make today amazing. Have a safe rest of the week. Look forward to, I'm not sure what our schedule is next week. I'm not sure because it is Thanksgiving, so I don't know if we're going to find out if I'm going to be here live. If so, I'm going to be here. If not, pray that you're going to get some information, as I know that you will, that's going to make sure that you are better. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you next week. Thank you.